Have you ever wondered why some people seem to see the world differently? While most of us skim the surface of life, there are a few who dive deep into the ocean of thought. They are often quiet, reflective, and sometimes misunderstood. They are the deep thinkers, the ones who constantly search for meaning beyond appearances, who question not only society, but also themselves. The Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst Carl Gustav Jung dedicated much of his life to understanding these profound layers of the human mind. His psychology was not merely about treating mental illness, it was about exploring the soul, the unconscious, and the hidden depths that shape who we are. Deep thinkers have always existed. Philosophers, artists, mystics, and visionaries who seemed out of step with their times. Jung himself was one of them. He believed that our inner world, our dreams, symbols, fears, and archetypes, was just as real and important as the physical world around us. For Jung, true wisdom did not come from external success, but from the courage to face the mystery within. In this exploration, we will uncover what it means to be a deep thinker through the lens of Jung's psychology. We will see how concepts such as the shadow, archetypes, persona, and individuation reveal the inner struggles and gifts of those who think deeply. We will explore both the light and the darkness of such a mind, the creativity it brings, but also the loneliness and suffering it often endures. Jung once wrote, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes." This awakening, this inner journey, is the path of the deep thinker. It is not an easy path, but it is one that enriches not only the individual, but all of humanity. So let us walk together through Jung's wisdom. Let us try to understand why deep thinkers are the way they are, what challenges they face, and why their insights matter more than ever in our modern world. A deep thinker is not simply someone who has a high IQ. Intelligence alone does not make a person profound. What makes a deep thinker different is their relentless curiosity, their tendency to reflect on life's big questions, and their ability to sit with complexity without rushing toward easy answers. Deep thinkers are those who, when faced with everyday events, immediately begin to search for meaning behind them. Where others might see only a coincidence, a deep thinker sees a pattern. Where others settle for surface-level explanations, the deep thinker digs into the why and the what if. Jung's psychology helps us recognize these traits. He believed that people could be divided along a spectrum between extroversion and introversion. While extroverts gain energy from interacting with the outer world, introverts recharge from the inner world of ideas, images, and reflection. Most deep thinkers lean strongly toward introversion because their natural tendency is to turn inward. But it goes beyond personality. Deep thinkers often live with an awareness of the unconscious. Jung argued that much of who we are lies hidden beneath the surface of awareness. Our instincts, forgotten memories, and symbolic images all reside there, quietly shaping our thoughts and actions. Deep thinkers are more attuned to this inner world. They listen to their dreams, notice subtle emotions, and often feel guided by something larger than themselves. Jung's most famous insights was this: until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. This awakening, this inner journey, is the path of the deep thinker. It is not an easy path, but it is one that enriches not only the individual, but all of humanity. Jung's psychology is filled with concepts that help us understand the deep thinker's inner life. Let us explore some of the most important ones. 1. The shadow. Every person carries within them a shadow, the hidden side of their personality. It contains the parts of ourselves we reject, deny, or fear. For a deep thinker, the shadow often appears in self-doubt, existential dread, or feelings of alienation. They are more aware of their own darkness because they spend so much time reflecting inward. Jung wrote, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." Deep thinkers embrace this painful task. By facing the shadow, they grow wiser and more authentic. 2. Archetypes. Archetypes are universal symbols, like the hero, the wise old man, or the mother, that live in the collective unconscious. Deep thinkers are especially sensitive to these patterns. They often see myths, stories, or dreams not just as entertainment, but as expressions of timeless truths. For instance, a deep thinker might see their own struggles as a hero's journey. This symbolic thinking allows them to find meaning in hardship. 3. The persona. The persona is the social mask we wear to function in society. While necessary, it can also become a prison if we identify with it too much. Deep thinkers often struggle with this mask. They feel the tension between what society expects of them and what their inner truth demands. This is why many deep thinkers feel different or misunderstood. They are unwilling to completely sacrifice authenticity for acceptance. 4. Individuation. The ultimate goal of Jung's psychology is individuation, the process of becoming whole by integrating the conscious and unconscious parts of the self. For deep thinkers, individuation is a natural path. Their introspection and reflection drive them toward self-discovery. This journey is not easy, but it is profoundly rewarding. It transforms suffering into wisdom, isolation into authenticity, and confusion into clarity. Part 4. The Inner Life of a Deep Thinker. Approximately 2,000 to 2,200 words. The inner world of a deep thinker is vast. Unlike many who find comfort in constant noise and distraction, deep thinkers often crave silence and solitude. This is not loneliness, it is nourishment. In solitude, they can reflect, write, create, and connect with their unconscious mind. Many artists, writers, and philosophers have testified that their best ideas came not from busy social settings, but from quiet contemplation. Jung understood the value of this. He saw imagination and creativity as bridges to the unconscious. Dreams, fantasies, and symbols were not meaningless, they were messages from the deeper self. Jung once said, "The creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect, but by the play instinct acting from inner necessity. The creative mind plays with the objects it loves." This play of the mind is central to the deep thinker's life. They see connections where others see none. They find meaning in patterns, symbols, and hidden truths. But the inner life also has challenges. Many deep thinkers feel misunderstood, as if others cannot grasp the depth of their thoughts. They may struggle with isolation and sometimes with melancholy. Jung noted this when he wrote, "Loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you." Despite these struggles, the inner life of a deep thinker is rich and rewarding. It provides insights that shape art, philosophy, science, and spirituality. It is a life that may appear quiet on the outside, but within burns with imagination, meaning, and depth. To think deeply is both a gift and a burden. Jung understood that those who peer into the unconscious often wrestle with struggles others cannot see. The deep thinker's life is not one of easy comfort. It is marked by conflicts, inner and outer, that shaped their journey toward individuation. 1. Overthinking and mental exhaustion. Deep thinkers are prone to reflection, but this can spiral into overthinking. What begins as healthy analysis can become endless cycles of what-ifs and whys. Jung believed that the mind, when not balanced, can trap itself in circular thought patterns. Overthinking prevents the deep thinker from living in the present and instead anchors them in a state of constant questioning. He warned, "Thinking is difficult. That's why most people judge." For the deep thinker, thinking is not only difficult, but also draining. The challenge is learning when to stop dissecting and to start experiencing. 2. Social misunderstanding. Because deep thinkers often prioritize truth over conformity, they risk being misunderstood or rejected. They may come across as too serious, aloof, or detached. This difficulty is closely tied to Jung's concept of the persona. Society rewards those who wear acceptable masks, cheerfulness, sociability, productivity. But deep thinkers cannot always play along. Their authenticity often collides with social expectations. Jung observed, "The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases." Deep thinkers refuse to squeeze into shoes that do not fit them, yet this choice sometimes isolates them. 3. Existential loneliness. Perhaps the greatest burden of a deep thinker is loneliness. Not the loneliness of lacking company, but the loneliness of speaking a language few understand. They can be in a crowded room and still feel apart. This loneliness stems from depth. When your thoughts constantly touch the infinite, the eternal, the symbolic, ordinary small talk can feel empty. Jung captured this perfectly. Loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you. This loneliness can lead to melancholy, but it can also inspire art, philosophy, and spiritual exploration. 4. The weight of the shadow. Because deep thinkers are more aware of their inner life, they also wrestle more directly with their shadow. They see their flaws, doubts, and fears more clearly. This self-awareness is valuable, but it can also be painful. Facing the shadow means confronting uncomfortable truths about oneself: envy, pride, fear, weakness. Many people ignore these feelings. Deep thinkers cannot. This is why some deep thinkers fall into despair or nihilism. Without guidance, the shadow can overwhelm them. Yet when integrated, it becomes a source of strength and authenticity. 5. Struggles with action. While their minds overflow with ideas, deep thinkers sometimes struggle with translating thought into action. They may hesitate, doubting themselves, analyzing every possibility until opportunities pass them by. Jung warned that reflection must be balanced with action. Knowledge rests not upon truth alone, but upon error also. Mistakes are part of growth. Deep thinkers must learn that not every decision can be perfected in thought. Sometimes life requires stepping forward despite uncertainty. While challenges abound, the contributions of deep thinkers are immense. Without them, culture, science, and spirituality would stagnate. They are the torchbearers of humanity's inner evolution. 1. Visionaries and creators. Deep thinkers often see connections others overlook. Their insights fuel discoveries in philosophy, psychology, literature, and art. From Socrates to Jung himself, the reflections of deep thinkers have reshaped human civilization. Jung wrote, The creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect, but by the play instinct acting from inner necessity. The creative mind plays with the objects it loves. 2. Healers of the collective soul. Through their exploration of the unconscious, deep thinkers bring back wisdom that benefits society. They are like divers who descend into the dark ocean of the psyche and return with pearls. Jung believed this was essential. The collective unconscious contains the whole spiritual heritage of mankind's evolution. By engaging with myths, archetypes, and symbols, deep thinkers reconnect society to forgotten truths. They remind us of what it means to be human. 3. Challengers of conformity. Deep thinkers push against the shallow comfort of conformity. They question assumptions, expose illusions, and challenge systems. This makes them uncomfortable figures, but necessary ones. Without them, society risks falling into stagnation. As Jung observed, individuality is always in tension with the collective. Yet through this tension, progress emerges. 4. Teachers of authenticity. Perhaps their greatest gift is the lesson of authenticity. By embracing their inner worlds, deep thinkers show others that life is not about blind imitation, but about becoming who we truly are. As Jung famously declared, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Jung's psychology offers not just theory, but practical wisdom for living as a deep thinker today. 1. Embrace dreams and imagination. Jung saw dreams as windows into the unconscious. For deep thinkers, keeping a dream journal can reveal hidden truths. Imagination, too, is a guide. Not fantasy to be dismissed, but a creative force. 2. Do shadow work. Facing the shadow means confronting uncomfortable parts of ourselves. For the modern deep thinker, this may involve honest reflection, therapy, or creative expression. By integrating the shadow, we gain wholeness. 3. Balance reflection with action. Jung's concept of individuation is not passive. It requires living fully, making choices, taking risks, and engaging with the world. Deep thinkers must remember that wisdom grows not only from thought, but from experience. 4. Find community in depth. Though deep thinkers often feel alone, Jung believed in the healing power of dialogue. Finding others who share a love of meaning, whether through philosophy, spirituality, or art, helps ease isolation. 5. Accept uniqueness. Every deep thinker's path is unique. Jung warned against one-size-fits-all solutions. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. Authenticity requires courage, the courage to walk your own road, even if no one else understands it. The psychology of deep thinkers is not about intelligence alone. It is about courage, the courage to face the unconscious, to wrestle with the shadow, and to embrace authenticity. Jung's wisdom teaches us that depth is not a flaw to be hidden, but a gift to be cultivated. Yes, it comes with loneliness, overthinking, and struggle, but it also brings creativity, vision, and healing. Deep thinkers are not here merely to live, they are here to awaken. They awaken themselves, and through their insights, they awaken society. Let us close with Jung's most profound reminder. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. This is the task of the deep thinker, and in that acceptance lies freedom. For Jung, psychology was never just about the mind. It was also about the soul. He believed that our inner life carries a spiritual dimension that cannot be ignored. For deep thinkers, this spiritual quest often becomes central to their journey. Unlike many who are content with routine, deep thinkers constantly ask, what is the purpose of life? Why am I here? What lies beyond the material world? Jung observed that the modern world, with its focus on science and material progress, often leaves people spiritually starved. Deep thinkers feel this hunger most intensely. Their minds cannot rest until they connect with something greater than themselves. He wrote, "Man cannot stand a meaningless life." This is why deep thinkers are often drawn to religion, philosophy, or mysticism, not necessarily as dogma, but as paths towards inner truth. Jung's idea of the collective unconscious suggests that humanity shares a deep reservoir of symbols, myths, and archetypes. These are not just psychological structures, they are spiritual threads that connect us across time and culture. Deep thinkers feel this connection strongly. When they read mythology or study ancient texts, they do not see dead traditions. They sense a living truth that still speaks to the human soul. Jung wrote, "The psyche is not of today. Its ancestry goes back many millions of years." For the deep thinker, spirituality is not about escaping reality, but about seeing reality in its fullest, most profound dimension. Some deep thinkers are naturally drawn toward mystical experiences, moments of unity, awe, or transcendence. Jung himself respected mysticism, but he always warned against losing oneself in illusion. True spirituality, he said, was about integrating the unconscious, not escaping from life. The mystical experience for a deep thinker is not an endpoint, but a signpost on the path of individuation. The world today is louder, faster, and more distracted than ever before. In this environment, the life of a deep thinker can feel both more difficult and more essential. Technology and constant information make it hard for reflection to thrive. The deep thinker must carve out solitude in a culture that values speed over depth, distraction over silence. But this challenge also sharpens their purpose. By resisting the noise, they become guardians of stillness and meaning. Every era needs people who question assumptions, who see beyond the surface. In a world facing existential crises, climate change, technological disruption, spiritual emptiness, deep thinkers remind us to slow down, reflect, and reconnect with what truly matters. Jung believed that individuals, not masses, shape the future. The world will ask you who you are, and if you do not know, the world will tell you. Deep thinkers, by knowing themselves, can help humanity find direction. Modern deep thinkers must balance their inner depth with practical living. The path is not about retreating completely, but about bringing wisdom into the everyday. This might mean practicing mindfulness, writing, creating art, or guiding others. It means being a bridge between the unconscious and the conscious world, between silence and action. And so we come to the end of this exploration of The Psychology of Deep Thinkers by Carl Jung. We have seen how Jung's ideas, shadow, archetypes, individuation, and the collective unconscious illuminate the inner world of those who think deeply. We have walked through their struggles and their gifts, their loneliness and their wisdom. We have recognized their spiritual hunger and their role in guiding society toward meaning. If you are a deep thinker, remember this: your depth is not a curse, but a calling. Yes, it may set you apart. Yes, it may make life more challenging, but it also connects you to truths that can heal, inspire, and transform. Carl Jung once said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." The deep thinker's journey is not about escaping the world, but about becoming fully alive within it, integrating shadow and light, intellect and spirit, solitude and connection. And so take your depth as a gift, embrace it gently, and remember you are not alone. Across time and history, countless other deep thinkers have walked this same path, leaving behind wisdom for you to follow. And now, as we close, let us leave with Jung's quiet reminder: the most terrifying thing to accept oneself completely, and yet this is where true freedom begins. May you walk forward with courage, embracing your depth and sharing your light with the world.